Greetings. This is Justin Allen with the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. I'm sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take a measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked to the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking to April, who is a family nurse practitioner. Currently, she is working at an OBGYN office part-time. She started a Telemed women's health and HRT practice about a year ago that is struggling to take off. She is needing assistance with marketing, streamlining the services she is offering, and optimizing her website so she can increase her patient volume and begin making a profit. Hey, April, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for hopping on here. So yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself, how long you've been a nurse practitioner for and kind of what you've been doing.
Awesome. So, I'm a family nurse practitioner since 2019. I did family practice for a short period of time and then moved into GYN office, so women's health, which is kind of my background as a nurse and my passion. So I do that part-time and wanted to branch out and start something on my own, inspired by none other than you. So I started my telehealth practice online in around April of last year. I will say, because I work part-time, I've kind of had one foot in, one foot out type thing, just doing a little bit here and there. I did expect it to kind of do better in the beginning, and then got a little discouraged because it didn't turn out or kind of start off the way that I was hoping, despite, all of the time and effort that I had put into it. So I'm just kind of circling back around to say, this is really what I want to do and want to figure out how to make it work. So I am hoping to get some feedback and recommendations from you just regarding the website, the type of services that I'm offering, and then also recommendations for marketing so that I can hopefully get some more patients in.
Sure. Okay. So you started this practice about a year ago, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And what services are you offering?
It's pretty much just general women's health, HRT, birth control, even wellness screenings. We've had a lot of people with the pandemic who they didn't want to go in to be seen, but they didn't get their orders for their mammograms and things like that, just routine screening. Basically anything women's health related. And I've since also added some pretty basic acute care, family health type stuff as well.
Gotcha. Okay. So what service are you finding to be somewhat profitable?
At this point, honestly, the main income I've had has been more so related to acute care. I really haven't had anything consistent turn out from the HRT, anything like that, to be honest with you.
Really? That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Usually it's going to be the exact opposite.
Right.
Yeah. So something's wrong here with your marketing. Something's off. So
right.
Yeah. There's some sort of disconnect here. So I guess you're making more money doing the acute care stuff. Do you mind how much have you made over the past year? Have you made much?
Honestly, not much of anything, to be honest. It's been very minimal, and it's just been kind of like a very sporadic type thing. It's been a few months since I added acute care visits, and I've probably averaged maybe 5 to 7 patients a month.
Yeah, it's not very much, and that's for the acute care stuff.
Correct. I've gotten a lot of attention, meaning I feel like I get a lot of website views. A lot of people that see the website are like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is great that you're offering these, but it doesn't convert into actual patients. So I feel like marketing, I have to be missing the mark somewhere, which is understandable because I will admit that I haven't done a lot just because, like I said, I got discouraged and kind of feel like I've had one foot in, one foot out.
Okay, so this is a telemed practice. Are you just in your state?
Correct. In
Yeah.
Florida.
Have you thought about maybe just trying to localize it to maybe just, just a very specific region and seeing if you could just advertise there?
So I think that that's kind of where I need the most help because I did reach out to someone who does marketing. She was all willing to help, but then it turned into more so she basically just wanted to give me a little advice on how to basically do my own marketing when I really thought that I was hiring her to do that for me. But I started to try to do that. And then, that's what she did recommend that because I was thinking, oh, let me try to cover as much of Florida as I can. But then I do kind of feel like it's spreading the efforts a little too thin.
Yeah, sometimes so a lot of people go into, opening a telemed practice and they think they're going to be in all these states and they're going to be seeing thousands of patients and they're going to get so busy. But the reality of it is that sometimes it's better to focus your energies, your money, and your time on more of a specific location. I mean, I've said it before in other podcasts and articles and whatnot about how there are absolute gold mines out there when it comes to more smaller communities, because no one's offering services in those communities. So sometimes it's best to maybe focus in on a specific location. And it doesn't have to be like one tiny small town. It can be like, one town with a radius of, 30 or 40 miles or whatever around that.
Right.
Yeah. A specific location and a specific demographic, specific target market. I just had an episode where I was talking to a nurse practitioner and she found that advertising to like teachers, nurses, just kind of like middle income, middle class folks, just in like her county. And she's killing it, providing telemedicine weight loss, making like $10,000 a month on just some Facebook ads. But it's a very, very specific demographic, a very specific target market. Like that's why I hammer it time and time again in the courses and the articles and everything. You need to identify a very specific target market for a telemedicine practice. It's not going to work otherwise. You can't just advertise it to the general population and expect bites. It's just not going to happen. So with that said, who's your target market?
Well, see, so that's an area that I'm struggling with because it's like, I've ran just random Facebook ads. And when it comes down to selecting those populations, I struggle with it. So I did create like one patient and I don't have like the profile. It was basically like a persona that I was creating to like target specifically for perimenopausal women, like, to advertise hormone replacement therapy. And I came up with like the patient name, what she did for a living, like all of that good stuff. But then when I put it in, nothing ever happened with it. So then I was like, okay, well, this isn't working. Maybe I'm missing these people over here. So I'm just really struggling with that whole concept and thinking like, okay, well, if I'm targeting just a small group of people and that's not working, then,
Right. You got to pivot and try again. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's the thing about advertising on social media is that you have to do something called split testing. You have to create multiple ads targeted to different groups of people and find which one bites, like which one takes the bait kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
It's like fishing. It's like hunting. Like you have to kind of just go out and start, trying different things with it. So like what you need to do, I think you need to really sit down and, you work in women's health. It sounds like you've been doing women's health for a few years. Like, this patient population. So with that said, if you're going to be operating a cash-based practice, first and foremost, those patients have to have a disposable income. They can't have Medicaid. They can't, work at Walmart. They don't have the money for it. Right. So they have to be more in a higher income bracket, first and foremost. They have to be in a specific age group. The patient's general demographics, like their age, their sex, like that basic stuff. Okay, so that narrows it, right?
Right.
Now it needs to be even more specific. Like I would start targeting job titles. So that's the beautiful thing about advertising on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever. You can usually target a job title, a specific job title, or a specific degree, for example. You know what I mean? So like this one girl was targeting teachers. Like it's pretty easy to put job title in there, middle school teacher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so anyone in their Facebook profile who puts teacher down or educator, as their profession, they're going to be the only ones that see that ad. So you just Yeah. So you've identified a very, very specific target market. Okay. So I think you just need to think about what it is that these patients do that you've seen a lot of, in terms of a job title goes, that also pays well, 70, 80,000 plus a year, preferably.
Okay.
So, a lot of it's professional type people usually, you know what I mean? So
Right.
you have the age, you have the sex. Now I think you just need to experiment a little bit with different job titles, different interests, basically, really, really narrow it down.
Okay.
So when I
Yes,
had
I feel
my,
like whenever you've tried to pick them online, like as far as like interest and things like that, I kind of get in my own way with that because I'm like, okay, well, yeah, they could like this, but they could also like that and they could be into this. And like, it's just kind of that way of thinking is like, I don't want to miss this population over here, but obviously what I'm doing isn't working. So,
right. Well, with, an interest-based ad, I mean, so think about this. So like, let's say you wanted to target, I don't know, people who golf, for example. Okay. Just because this is an easy example. Like, let's say even female golfers. There's a lot of them in Florida. So what if you targeted female golfers, between the age of 40 to 50 or whatever, right? And, you put, female between the ages of 40 and 50. Actually, you can select income level too. You can put like top 20% or whatever. And then you
Mhm.
put interest golf, or, that's going to be a pretty broad one. So if you can even be more specific, like the WPGA, like the women's PGA, you know what I mean? Like the professional golf,
Mhm.
sport. Now you've narrowed it down you've narrowed it down super specific. And then your ads can have pictures of healthy, vibrant women on a golf course, smiling, laughing, blah, blah, blah. And then you write your stuff about the women's HRT. It targets them
Gotcha.
directly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, job titles, you can create ads, with the pictures of it, and it speaks to them, something that's going to grab their attention.
Gotcha.
So you
Okay.
have to play around with it a little bit. You know what I mean? You have to
Yeah.
put $10 a day into it, try 3 or 4 different ads, send them out, see what happens. It just takes some time.
Gotcha.
It just takes a little time to kind of find that.
Okay.
It took me a while to do that with my transgender HRT practice that I did telemed. It took a little while to kind of find what that was. But when I found it though, it was gold. It worked.
Yeah. So like when I work in a GYN office, and I mean, I do like I do all the wellnesses in the office and I do some procedures, but I feel like at least, 50 to 60% of those patients are, perimenopausal symptoms and they're interested in HRT. And obviously I keep that very solid. I don't cross the lines. I respect my supervising at that job and she's fully aware of what I do on the side. But it's just like, where are all of these people when I'm looking for them for my own practice?
Well, you accept insurance at your
Well,
job.
yeah, that's the other part of it. Yeah.
Right. There's a big difference between an insurance accepting practice and a cash-based practice. A big, big difference.
Yeah,
You know what I
this is true.
mean? It's a completely different game.
So that kind of leads into another, which out of desperation, like, okay, what I'm doing isn't working. I really need to consider accepting insurances. I am still super hesitant on that. I did start the process of credentialing, but again, I don't know, something's kind of holding me back from that. But the other thought is that long term, I eventually do want to have a physical location. And if I plan on doing any type of wellnesses, which is a big part of, women's healthcare, they're never going to pay me for their wellnesses if they have insurance coverage. So I'm like, should I or shouldn't I pursue that option?
I wouldn't pursue credentialing with insurance unless you're going to have an in-person, an actual brick and mortar practice.
You said unless I am or not at all?
Yeah, like if you're going to have a brick and mortar practice, then I would consider credentialing with insurance.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thought is that if that's eventually the goal, or that is the goal long term, do I go ahead and start that process now?
Right.
Which I did, but I'm hesitant to advertise anything with that right now, currently.
Right.
Being telehealth only.
I mean, if you want to open up a robust women's health clinic where you're doing PAPs and you're doing all this stuff, I mean, yeah, like you said, you're going to have to accept insurance. There's no way around
Right.
it,
Right.
So I guess it really just depends on what it is that you want to do. Like, do you want to do all that? Or do you want to just do hormone replacement therapy and some anti-aging stuff? Like, what do you want to do? What's your goal here?
Ultimately, the reason for starting telehealth only was to be able to still see patients, still generate income, but then also have the flexibility because, I do have 5 children ranging from like 21 to 5 years old, and they have a lot of different activities and school requirements and things like that. So I want to be able to have the flexibility without sacrificing the income. But I do love seeing patients in office as well. Like I like that patient interaction. So I kind of like it all, which makes it a little hard to say, I would totally be fulfilled just doing telehealth. Like I do like seeing patients.
Yeah, kind of a hard spot,
Uh, I
I mean,
know.
yeah.
Stuff.
Obviously, you want to make a decent living
Of course.
and have some time.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, it's not my interest to generate $100,000 a month. If that were to happen, that would be amazing. But, I just want to make a really decent income enough to be able to obviously support our family and stuff like that. But it's not more important
Right.
to me income wise than being able to or having to sacrifice all of the time that I have with my children. So,
Right. You'd probably be okay with making 150,000 a year, 150, 200.
yeah, if it were kind of my own thing and I was somewhat in control of it and not feeling like I'm slaving for someone else getting paid $50 an hour, absolutely.
Right. No, I get it. You can do that with a telemed practice. Okay. You can, and you could do it cash based. It's just getting that momentum. You got to get
Right.
some patients through the door and you
Yeah.
got to get some word of mouth starting. You got to get that snowball. You know what I mean? You got to
Right.
create that small snowball and start it and then roll it down the hill. Like it's just, you haven't got there yet. Like you're not there.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just getting that initial momentum. I think that you just need to kind of just go back to the drawing board with the, with the marketing. I think that you need, exactly. I think you need to get in there, play around with some target demographics. Okay. Play around with some locations, try to speak to that patient. Remember, you have to catch their eye. They're going through their feed. They're just scrolling through their Facebook feed. Why would they ever click on your ad? You have to make it something that's going to generate interest for them. You have to speak directly to them.
At any point, do you ever feel like you recommend like, okay, I've been doing this, on and off for at least the past 8 months. Now it's time for me to kind of reach out to like an outside source and have them review the ads that I've created because I've done everything on my own pretty much. So like including creating the website, all of the creatives that I've done through the ads that I've done, like videos, like everything I've done myself. So is there ever a point to where you're like, okay, now it's time to reach to an outside source and have them look at it and critique it and maybe give some feedback?
You can, if they know this game, if they know niche practices. And when you go to just some general marketing agency that markets, all kinds of different stuff, this is not their specialty.
Yeah, right.
I would just really hate for you to waste your money.
In the beginning, I reached out to a couple of different places and we're talking several $1,000s, but they couldn't really give any solid information on like ROI or examples of other businesses that they've advertised for specifically for this type. I mean, because telehealth in itself is a very small group. And then when you narrow it down even more and say, oh, it's women's health telehealth, like I need someone that has that type of experience, which I haven't found. So I haven't been willing to jump into thousands of dollars. So
yeah, and you know what? You're probably not going to find it. You're just not going to. There are so many marketing companies out there. It's a dime a dozen. Okay. Every Joe Blow coming out of high school, whatever, or college, think they're going to create this online digital marketing agency and they're going to become rich and all this kind of crap. There's so many of them and none of them are special. Very, very few of them are actually worth a shit. And the ones that are expensive. All right.
Yeah, they are very expensive.
Yeah. Like any of them that actually know what they're doing are expensive. This is why I say that marketing is the number one function of a business. And it's the number one function that a business owner should understand. This should be your job, at least in the beginning stages, because only you are going to understand your patient and only you are going to understand the target market. Some marketer that lives in Missouri who's 28 years old, like they don't understand what the hell a perimenopausal woman's going through.
Right.
They have no clue.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, you're definitely right.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I think you just might need to go back to the drawing board on this. And the website. Now the website, I will say paying a professional to have a very, very well done website is worth the money. No doubt. Okay. So spending money on a quality website is worth the investment. $500-$600, you're going to get a $500-$600 website. It's going to be okay. You spend $2,000, you're going to get a good website, one that looks good, one that has the right keywords in it, one that's easily, navigatable. So, keep that in mind. I know that can get expensive. So I just think it's something that is necessary at some point. You might not need to do that quite yet.
So I did my website from scratch, and I mean, I've gotten like really good feedback from it from professionals, like even physicians and things
Okay.
like that. They're like impressed. The website looks really good. One of the marketing companies that I got like a estimate or like consult with, they looked at it too and was like, your website looks amazing. Like they couldn't believe that I
Okay.
actually did it myself. But what I feel like I'm missing is that, SEO type background stuff. And that's the knowledge that I don't really have.
Right. So the SEO stuff for a telemedicine practice is difficult. SEO works great for, if you have a specific location
Okay.
or if you have a very, very niched kind of a thing that, isn't really around that much. I mean, what you're doing is nothing super niched or super special. Okay.
Right.
I mean, the business is special to you and the services you're providing are special.
No, I know what you mean.
Right.
I know
But,
what you mean.
right.
Yeah.
So when it comes to SEO, it's not going to really matter that much if you're not if you're not at a location. You got to think about this. If someone goes to Google and they type in treatment for menopause or perimenopausal treatment or hormone replacement therapy near me or whatever,
There's like hundreds that will pop up.
hundreds pop up and you're going to be on the 10th page. They're never going to find you because there's so many options before, and they're going to click the ones that are like on the Google map, like the one that's close.
Right.
That's probably who they're going to call.
Yeah.
Or they're going to call the one that comes up on the Google search ad at the top.
Sure.
So I think that being in a specific area, I seriously think it's going to help you out a lot better, because let's say that you decide to pick some town in Central Florida or whatever, and anyone in that town who types in hormone replacement therapy or whatever, if you have a Google search ad and you're in that area, you're going to come up number one. Boom, you've already skipped the SEO.
Okay. Any thoughts on the best method for trying to find those areas?
Yeah, literally just hop on Google, type in women's health clinic, hormone replacement therapy, female, whatever, be creative on the search terms that you're going to use to, pull up clinics that those search terms would result in, and just begin scrolling through the map, going over towns, clicking search this area from town to town to town. And what you find is you might find a place that doesn't really have much, but still has a decent population of 10, 15, 20,000 people.
Okay. I know I've heard you say that before, but I guess I just needed to hear you say it to me. So
yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not sitting here just, feeding you shit. Like this is like, this stuff works. This, like this works. Like some people don't like understand. Like, they listen to me. They're like, I'm not going to do that. Well, like it works. It works for a reason. That's why I say it. So like, seriously, give it a try. And then when you do the Facebook ads, target those areas. Be very, very, because you got to remember, if you're setting a Facebook ad, let's say, you spend $20 a day and you send a Facebook ad throughout the state of Florida, right? Mm-hmm. Lots and lots and lots of people are in Florida. But if you only send that ad to people in, I don't know, Ocala or whatever it is in Central Florida, like now only 50,000 people saw it. So see what I mean? You're going to get more bang for your buck.
Right. It's kind of like flooding, a little more saturated there.
Exactly. Right. Remember, you only need 50 to 100 paying patients to hit your income goal.
Right. Yeah. No, I would be well above my goal with 100 patients. Yeah.
Absolutely. You would, if you're making $100 to $150 profit off each one a month, you have 100, your income goal is met.
Right. Yeah. Like, so my unlimited membership plan, which is what I would recommend for anybody on HRT, is it's like $99 a month. So I'm like, if I could get even 10 people, that's like $1,000 a month right there.
Right. But if you're following the model of the courses and providing them compounded HRT and those kinds of things, you should be charging a lot more than that.
And there's other revenue with that. Yeah. As well.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's just for the visit.
Right. So, it just depends on how you want to structure this. If you want to do a price per service kind of a model, where you charge them for the visit, you charge them for the HRT, you charge them everything separate, then it can be a little bit more difficult to hit income goals based off of having more of a recurrent income. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's why I really like subscription-based models. Patients like it, and it's good for your bottom line as well. And it increases that recurrent income. It's the recurrent income that allows you to break free.
Right.
All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all elite nurse practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and then other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Another quick question that I had is, so I have been considering, like, for the last few months, but just haven't jumped on it, was adding offering weight loss with semaglutide and other options as well. It doesn't have to just be that. What are your thoughts or recommendations? I just feel like it's so saturated. I feel like I see it everywhere. That's all I hear about is people offering that, but maybe they're doing it because it's working. So I'm just not sure. It's like trying to like add all these little things, but then I don't want to go too far away from what I initially started to do, you know?
Well, think about this. Is weight gain and obesity and that kind of a thing a
All
problem in
associated with menopause.
perimenopause?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it's a problem in perimenopausal women, right?
Correct.
A
Absolutely.
big problem. Right. Okay. Why should you send that business somewhere else when you could do that?
No, it's true.
I mean, you're throwing business out the door. You're giving away money to someone else for something that you could easily do. Weight loss is not that difficult of a thing to integrate into your practice.
And if you're doing weight loss, do you recommend having additional options or just kind of sticking with just that as far as treatment?
You need to have multiple options.
Yeah. Okay. Because not everybody's going to be a candidate for that.
Right. I mean, some people are going to want to pay for semaglutide. They're just not going to want to. They'd rather pay the cheaper option for phentermine.
Right. Well, if it's telehealth only in Florida, we can't do any controlled substances without any in-person exam, is my understanding.
Yeah, that's my understanding
I
too,
wouldn't be able to do any controls. So I looked into, like, there's also Contrave, which is an option,
Right.
but then you have to monitor their blood pressure closely. So then I start thinking about all of these things, and it's like, I want to make sure that I'm being safe as well. So if I'm offering Contrave, am I going to trust them to take their blood pressure and report it to me? It just seems a little,
Well,
but
you haven't signed a
probably
consent
worth it.
form. Say they're going to.
Okay.
So I think you should have some different options. But yeah, like you said, the Florida law with the controlled substance is kind of a pain in the ass, but it is what it
Yeah.
is, right? I mean, so
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's out of your control. You just got to follow it and do it. But
Right.
if you decide to go brick and mortar at some point, then that shouldn't be a
Yeah.
problem.
You could always add that. Right. Absolutely.
Right, exactly. And this is another thing too, if you do go brick and mortar, let's say that you do find yourself a little gold mine, an hour and a half out in the boonies from where you're at. Sometimes it's worth you drive there a couple of days out of the week to,
Yeah. Even if it's just renting a location for, 2 days a week or something like that to be able to
Exactly.
offer in-office services to those patients. Yeah, I think it would be worth it.
100%. So see, this is what you do. You have a medical assistant that works there 3 or 4 days out of the week, that's there when you're not there. You do a lot of the follow-ups via Telemed, so you don't even have to go there. You go there once a week to see some people in person once a year so you can prescribe them the phentermine.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a totally feasible option too. And having that physical location also gets you that Google business listing, which is super important as well. The thing is, you just have to make it as easy as possible for patients to find you, okay? And so I think that no one's finding you right now. That's probably one of the biggest.
My gut is telling me that because, like I said, I've just gotten so much positive feedback, and they're from people who would be honest with me if they're like, I don't really think that's the greatest idea, or maybe you should do this. But I get really, really good feedback, and I haven't been able to connect the dots, but my gut tells me it's the marketing. I'm just not reaching the right people.
That's exactly what it is. You just haven't gotten that momentum yet. You just haven't got those couple key patients that refer all their friends. You just need a little bit of that initial momentum. So if I was you, I'd maybe be offering some discounts, in the ads that you're sending out, initial consultations.
Yeah.
Free.
So I have posted on the website, like, if you sign up for any membership, any new membership agreement, you get like $20 off of your like first month's membership type thing. And that like automatically pops up when you go on the website.
Yeah. When they land on your website though, let me ask you this, is it pretty clear that what it is that you're doing? Like, if you really want to focus on the HRT and the weight loss and that kind of stuff, like when they land on your site, is it pretty clear within 10 seconds that they know what it is that you're doing?
I wish there was a way we could look at the website together, but we can't. So once you first come on the page, there's just like a blurb about kind of like the mission of what I'm doing here. And then just slightly down the page, it explains exactly how the visits work? Like, how does the telehealth type visit work? And then right under that is the services that we offer. In menopause, like HRT is like the first thing that shows up. So
Services,
maybe not 10 seconds, but
services at the top. They land on yours.
in the menu bar, yes, there's absolutely services there. But like on the homepage that you first come to, it's broken down too. Like those services are on that homepage.
Underneath the name of
It's
your
kind of hard to
title.
explain. There's a menu bar.
Yeah, I get that. But the first thing they see as soon as they land on your website, boom, they land on it. It's the title of your practice, a subtitle, online hormone replacement therapy and weight loss for menopausal women, whatever. Boom.
No. Yeah.
Put that
No,
there.
not currently. Okay.
Yeah, put that there. That one
Okay.
statement right there immediately tells the patient what it is that you do. Do not give the patient a job. They're going to scroll through your website for 5 to 10 seconds. If they don't understand what it is that you do, they're clicking off.
They're moving on, right?
They're moving on. They're going to forget about you forever. So, you're paying Facebook and Google and stuff for those clicks, for those people to land on your website. And so if you can't convert them when they land on your website, you just paid them money and you've got nothing out of it.
Okay.
So think about that. How are you going to convert that patient when they land on your website? Because that's another critical aspect of it too. So
because I do get a lot of website visits. I feel like I get a good amount of like clicks on the paid ads that I do. It just isn't converting. So maybe that's a big part of it.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's probably another piece of the puzzle here. Why nothing's happening for you. So, if your website looks really, really great and that kind of a thing, maybe it's just sometimes just changing a little bit of the organization around is all you got to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When people land on my website, it says Men's Health and Testosterone Clinic. It's pretty damn obvious what we do.
Right.
If I just had the name of my practice there and I didn't have that subheading, they'd have to scroll down, read the mission statement, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And then you just lost it. People have an attention span of seconds nowadays.
Right. I know.
And if you could put there too, initial consultation free or whatever, or free 15-minute consultation, something like that. People love free stuff. If you did that for just a little while, it might help get that momentum going for you.
I thought about that too. And then I kind of pulled back because I'm like, everybody wants something for free, but when it comes time to pay for it, then they're like, it doesn't follow through, which ends up being a lot of, I won't say wasted time, but just inefficient time, I guess.
Keep it at 15 minutes. If you keep it at 15 minutes, it's not really that much of a waste of time. Like I do those 15 3-minute consultations at my men's health practice all the time. And I'm telling you, the conversion rate on those are high. Very rarely do I have someone who doesn't actually turn into a paying patient from that.
Okay.
That's a hot lead. If they're willing to talk to you for 15 minutes, that's a hot lead. They are interested. Now it's your job to get them to basically come through the door.
Okay. And I do have on like the menopausal symptom page, there's like a free quiz that basically they answer those questions and then it like generates an email to me, which I then respond to with like what their score was and this and that. But every time I've gotten that, I've probably had maybe only 5 to 7 people actually do it. And when I reach out to them by email, like I get nothing, like no response at all. Which is weird.
It's
like they're willing to take the free quiz, but then they're not really that. Maybe they're just passively kind of looking and filling out the form, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Those little quizzes. I have one of those on my men's health site, Adam's questionnaire for hypogonadal symptoms. People take them. I don't know how well it converts. It's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be better off having a form, submit your email or phone number for your free consultation or something. That's going to convert more.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually have a button on our website that says click here to schedule your free 15-minute consultation. It's just a link directly to our EMR. Click, it pops up on the schedule, then we call them up. Like it's that simple.
Oh, that's interesting. So you were able to integrate the form to automatically schedule them for the consult?
Well, whatever EMR you're using, there should be a button from your EMR that you can integrate into your website for people scheduling appointments.
I currently use Athena, which I really love them, but there's definitely some little snags here and there with using them.
How much are you paying for that?
It's actually not bad. I don't know how everybody I've talked to is like, says it's crazy high. They were one of the cheapest. It's a little less than 6% and no monthly minimum. And I don't recall the software right off the top of my head, but like 2 to 3 other EHR systems that I wanted were like a minimum of $300 to $400 a month plus a percentage on top. And I was like, I'm not going to commit to that until I actually have patients.
Well,
but I've used Athena in the past and I really like Athena. Just it's very intuitive and they have like a telehealth option that goes in with it, which is minimal too. It's like $79 a month or something like that. But if I don't get any patients in soon and start creating volume, they will probably try to renegotiate my contract for a higher percentage because I'm not meeting the quota that we talked about. So
right. 6% of even the cash transactions?
No. So basically, it's the visit rates that I do. How do I explain this? So all of the transactions go through the website, and then I manually enter the payments into Athena. So I have different payment options. Like they can pay a lower monthly fee, but then also have like a per visit rate with it, but they get a discount because they pay a lower monthly fee. So if they chose that membership, just say it's like $39 a month, their per visit rate I would put through Athena, but their membership rate I would not. So like the $39 would not get captured through Athena. That's just like their monthly payment to me.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of busy work when you start getting
Busier. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it will too.
Yeah, I'd look at some different options. But anyways, there should be a scheduling app, widget, or whatever that you can put onto your website that hit the patient's schedule directly through that link, and it automatically integrates into your Athena schedule. There should be something like that for Athena. I'm not familiar with it, but there should be that. I mean, that's a pretty big EMR system. It's a big company. I think it would be asinine if they
I'm
didn't
sure
have
they
that
do.
feature. Yeah, I'm sure they do.
They
Yeah.
do. I think the way that I have it set up right now is actually turned off so that they have to register as a patient and create their portal before they can actually like physically schedule the appointment. There is an on like a web scheduling option, and I think I had it turned off because I didn't want people to schedule the appointment without paying. But over the last few weeks, I'm like, I really think I need to change that. So I have a call scheduled with them actually tomorrow to get that enabled. And worst case scenario, they schedule an appointment and the payment isn't there prior to. And I told them they have to reschedule. At least
Yeah.
they're scheduled, right? To
Right.
give them the option of scheduling right then and there.
Right. No, you definitely need to have that as a feature. But patients like
Yeah.
that, especially for the free consultation.
Right. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's, I'm glad we're talking now so that I can kind of talk that through with them tomorrow too.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, I think
Okay.
that we've probably discovered a few of the missing pieces here. I think if
Yeah.
you just do a few of those little integrations, I think that you'll probably start getting a little busier.
Yeah, no, it's all great information. I really, really appreciate your time and, talking through some of these things with me because, when you're doing something for the first time on your own, I mean, I can listen to all of your podcasts and I can listen to other people's stories and pull little bits of information here and there. But to be able to talk through my current situation and go through those details with you, it is really, really helpful. So I appreciate your time.
Ah, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to help you out. I mean, I think that just a few tweaks here, and I think that you'll start generating some money. I just say stay focused on the HRT and the weight loss. Don't deviate much from that. Figure out how to convert people on your website a little bit better. Figure out that target market, the demographics, the location for this, the Facebook ads, the Google ads and stuff. And I think if you do those few little things there, I think it'll start helping you out. I really
Making a difference.
I really do.
Well,
Yeah.
I sure hope so. And I definitely trust your opinion and recommendation. You have lots of experience. So
No, pleasure to help.
hopefully
Well,
we'll talk again next year and I'll have a much better news to share with you.
yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, I like to end the episode with you asking me a question. If you ever had a question that you've always wanted to ask me or anything like that.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a tough one. So what do you do for fun? It sounds like you do a lot of business stuff and you're constantly giving your time to help, everyone else get to where you are. What do you do for fun?
Yeah, it's kind of rediscovering that.
Yeah, it does change, right?
yeah. I've answered this question before, but it's like kind of changes every few months. Like
Yeah,
I was hustling so much, so hard for so many years.
sounds like it.
Yeah, I kind of stopped having fun. Like I
Yeah.
stopped doing, things that I used to enjoy because I was working so much. But now I've stepped back a little bit because, my businesses now work for me. I don't have to work so hard at them anymore.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but it took years to get there. You know what I mean? And so,
Right.
well, now, my son was born a couple months ago. So
Oh, congratulations.
thanks. So like a lot of my times with him now, I'm sure I'm going to be taking him on lots of little adventures and stuff. I take him on a 3-mile walk hike almost every day. I put him in like, little backpack and stuff. And, I've been kind of doing that. That's kind of fun.
Aw.
But he's so young though now. It's still kind of, as he gets
Yeah.
older, I'm sure. Yeah. So it'd be a little bit more
It
fun.
goes so fast though, but amazing for you that you've been able to bust your ass as much as you've had, get yourself to the point to where now you can actually enjoy that time and really kind of take it all in because it really, really does go fast.
That's the plan. Like I really want
Yep.
I want to be present. You know what I mean? And so
Yep.
I don't have
At
to.
the end of the day and the bigger picture, that's all that matters.
And that's what I hear from other people too. Like daddy doesn't have to go to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, and you never see him. Like that's not going to be the case for me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Well, thanks. But anyways,
Yeah.
though, well, hey, listen,
Okay.
I really appreciate you hopping on here, and please keep me up to date. I would really like to know if this helps. So like email me in
I
a couple
will
months. And let me know.
definitely.
Yeah.
I will do.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode with April. I think there was a lot of valuable marketing information in that episode. A lot. I mean, we went over a lot of higher level things. So, sometimes when you start a practice, it takes a little while to gain that momentum. Okay. It really does. It takes time sometimes to just build that little tiny snowball and to get it rolling down the hill. So she's kind of still making that snowball. She just hasn't really gained that momentum yet. And I think the reason, because she just has a few things that she needs to tweak on her website. She needs to do something to create patient conversions. She needs to identify a target market. She needs to identify a location. So there's just a few things that she hasn't really been doing that she needs to do. And if she does those things, I really believe her business will start picking up. So if your business is not as busy as you hoped, or if you're struggling getting patients through the door, listen to this episode again. All right. It's super critical. You have a way to convert patients when they land on your website. You got to get patients on your website. And then the most important part of it is converting that patient to a paying patient on your website. Okay. All right. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and/or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content of this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.